Hello and welcome. I am Exit Lights and this is my channel. Today we're going to talk about the Dybbuk Box. If you're here, you probably know what it is. But if you don't, I'll give an explanation. And there's a sad story to tell about the Dybbuk Box. So buckle up. Before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below. If you're not subscribed, please do so. 91% of the people who come to this channel are not subscribed. 91. So if you guys could just take a minute out of your day to click that button, I'd really appreciate it a lot. And if you guys want to share the videos, go ahead and do that too. That really helps. I put a link below to where I sell my art. And let's get started talking about the Dybbuk Box. For those who don't know, the Dybbuk Box is an antique wine cabinet, and it was claimed that it's always been claimed that the Dybbuk Box is haunted. It's a concept from Judaism where it's said that people from the Holocaust told their stories into this box and put curses on people into this box so that it can't be opened. You're not even supposed to touch it. The box became really, well, famous. I want to say notorious when it was put on eBay by its owner, who told this Jewish Holocaust story about the Dybbuk box. And in fact, his story became the inspiration for the 2012 movie The Possession. But here we go. In 2021, Kevin Manis told Input magazine that the Dybbuk box story was complete fiction. In 2003, Kevin Manis was a writer and he was refinishing furniture. He bought the wine box from a local attorney who was having a yard sale in Portland, Oregon. And then, for some reason, maybe the writer in him decided to start developing a backstory to this box. So, according to him, the carving in the back of the box was something that he made himself. The stone that was in the box was something that is a signature creation, all of his own. He said, "Make no mistake, I conceived of the Dybbuk box, the name, the term, the idea, and he wrote this creative story around it on eBay when he put it up to sell." His auction description included a story claiming the cabinet was previously owned by a survivor of the Holocaust in Poland, who said it contained the malicious spirit of a Dybbuk, and that the box had paranormal powers all by itself and was responsible for his bad luck and nightmares. Subsequent owners retold Kevin Manis' story when they were reselling this item, and it amplified it with their own claims of strange phenomenon that had happened to them when they owned the Dybbuk box or touched the Dybbuk box. One owner, whose name was Jason Haxton, was the director of the Museum of Osteopathic Medicine in Kirksville, Missouri. He launched a website that consolidated all of the claims about the Dybbuk box and put it on dybbukbox.com, that has repeatedly received hundreds of thousands of hits and created what has become an internet legend. Do you remember, for those of you who've been around a long time, that time that we found out that chupacabras aren't real? For those of you that don't know the story, there was a movie being filmed in Puerto Rico and it had this monster in it, this creature in it. And the people in the town where it was being filmed thought it was a documentary. So that's when they started blaming the deaths of their, sheep, cattle, or whatever on to the chupacabras. But there has never been such thing as a chupacabra, and it was all a misunderstanding about what this movie was about, and then the fact that it wasn't a documentary. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in since we were talking about internet legends. In 2004, Paxton sold the rights to the story to a Hollywood production company, and the subsequent film The Possession, produced by Sam Raimi, was released in 2012. Paxton later gave as a gift the cabinet to Zach Bagans, from Ghost Adventures, one of Rob's favorite people, so that he could display it in his museum. In 2018, fans of rapper Post Malone, who I adore, I don't consider him a rapper, they claimed that he had a bunch of bad luck. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there was an episode where Post was on Ghost Adventures, and Zach asked him if he wanted to touch the box, and Post touched the box. So he had a bunch of bad accidents and bad luck that happened after that. And so everybody on the internet, the interwebs, said that it was because he had touched the Dybbuk box. A woman, Jan Brunvand, who is a folklorist, I didn't know there were such a thing. She noted that stories like this, that have a supernatural angle or like a first person narrative, like every one of these owners passed down something scary, freaky, weird that happened to them when they owned this possession, they typically become urban legends, and sometimes you can't really tell truth from fiction. Another professor from California State University, Elliot Oring, said that he was always upset about the story about the Dybbuk box because, and I quote, "Go through the story and you will see that there are areas that seem to require suspending critical functions." I don't know why, but I feel like that this year's only started, but that might be my favorite quote of the year. There was an Arizona minister who thought that he would give his 2 cents worth, and he said he believed all along that it was an elaborate hoax, but that his own opinions took all the fun away from the popular urban legend, which is an interesting way. I mean, he thought it was fun. So that's an interesting view from a minister. Okay, and get this. In January 2019, there was an investigator. His name was Kenny Biddle, and he reviewed the Dybbuk box, the one that's, at Zach Bacon's Haunted Museum in Las Vegas. You could sponsor this if you want to, Zach. I don't know. But his conclusion, following careful investigation of the cabinet's construction and history, was this, and I quote, "Despite what various owners would have us think, the infamous Dybbuk box is not a Jewish wine cabinet from Spain, but instead a minibar from New York." Biddle also wrote that he believed that Kevin Mannis created the Dybbuk box story from whole cloth, from a, a true religious belief, but then, veered off into the fantastical, suspending critical thinking kind of a thing. Okay, so let's talk about this. If you're someone who likes paranormal stuff, do you feel like this is a disappointment? And at the same time, I wonder, like the stone tape theory, if you have an object and you project your fears basically onto this object, and that it's haunted and it has a Dybbuk in there, and it, anything that goes wrong in your life is suddenly now caused by the Dybbuk. can it kind of take on that life of its own? That it can become and feel like the stories that are told about it? You know what I'm saying? Um, like a haunted house, it's usually the property that's haunted, as opposed to just the house. And so I'm wondering if it can hold a memory. And because Zach Bagans says that like it's the most demonic, possessed, scary, woo woo thing that's ever existed. Does he get a feeling of it, or is it psychological that he gets a feeling from it? And it's just because people get scared. And then do we then put that onto the object and expect it to do its job of scaring us? So let me know below what you think. And if you just now heard about the chupacabra, I'm sorry about that. It's a bummer. Um, leave a comment. Let's have a conversation. Thank you for coming to my channel, and good night.